Hello everybody, it's Alison here with a messy church-ish kind of craft for Pentecost Sunday. First of all, we're going to try some origami. And rather than go straight into the model I'd like us to build for Sunday, I thought we should start at the beginning with a very easy thing indeed. Now I'm going to show you something. This is a very old, little, rather battered book that I've had for a long time, a very, very long time, because inside you can see it says, "To Alison, with love from Auntie Renee and Uncle Herbert on her 11th birthday, 18th of April, 1974. This was the first time I had heard about origami, and I have had so much fun with origami over the years that I thought you might like to have a go too. And if you do, and you enjoy it, a whole lot of happiness might come in years to come for you in playing with bits of paper. This is a very inexpensive, fun hobby that anyone can do with a little bit of effort and some practice. So we're going to make a very simple Japanese design called a house fold. Japanese origami paper is just a square of paper. It's coloured on one side and white on the other. If you have some paper in the house, it doesn't matter what kind of paper it is, but if you could colour one side of it and leave the other side plain, you'll be off to a good start. You just need to make sure it's a very accurate square. So you might have to ask an adult to help you to make this piece of paper very square. And you might have to use some measuring devices and either scissors or maybe even a guillotine. So we start with your white side up, and we're going to fold this piece of paper in half, top to bottom, just like this. Now the thing about origami is, the more carefully you make your folds, the better your model's going to be. So you need nice folds that the corners meet. Then we're going to fold this side over to the other side and make the corners meet again. Here we go. Another nice strong crease. Now we're going to open it back out again. And make sure it's still the same way around with the open bit at the bottom. Now we're going to fold the sides to the middle. 1, 2, then we're going to unfold them again. So now you should have 4 creases in your piece of paper. And we're going to make another crease. We're going to take this corner and we're going to fold it until that edge reaches the first fold line. And then we're going to make a crease. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Take this corner and fold it to that line and make a good crease. So now you've got a kind of brown house-shaped thing with 2 flaps at the corners. Here comes the magic bit. We're going to do a thing called a squash fold. And if you've done good creases, this will work. You take the top layer of your paper. See, it's got 2 layers. So you get the top layer and you open it out. And as you open it out, you get a kind of tunnel forming in your paper at the top. And if you squash that, you get the gable of your house. I'm going to do that again. To lift the top flap of your paper, I hope you can see this all right, and move it over towards the middle, and then the tunnel forms on the top of your paper, and you squash down, and that's another squash fold, and there we have a little house. And if you like, you can decorate your house. You can get a pencil and you can put a window, maybe two, maybe with curtains behind it. There's another window. Some more curtains. And you can have doors in your house. And there's a door handle, because you can't get out your door handle without a door. You can decorate your house much better than I've done, I'm sure. So that's your first challenge this week. See if you can make a little house. And now that you've done the little house, we're going to try and make something for Pentecost Sunday. Now, Pentecost is a funny word. It's the word for this special Sunday where in the very first days of the church, the Holy Spirit was given as a gift to everybody. And that Holy Spirit was seen as tongues of flame. But the Holy Spirit's also been seen in the Bible as a bird. So I thought we would make this special bird for this Sunday. It's a flapping bird. It's a very old Japanese model, and you'll see it's got 2 points, it's got a head, it's got a tail, and it's got 2 wings. And if you hold the 2 points underneath carefully in your hands and pull gently, the wings flap. So this is a Japanese flapping bird, and it's a very old model. So I'm going to show you how to make one if you're feeling brave, and you can make them in lots of different colours. Your first one will be a bit of a mess, your second one will be better, your third one will be even better, and before you know it, you'll have a whole flock of them. The way to learn any new thing is to do it over and over again until you've got it right, and until you can remember how to do it right every time. Sometimes people get a bit bored doing that sort of thing, but it's the only way to learn a model properly, or to learn how to do anything properly, is to practice. So I hope just now you'll have some time to practice. I'm going to use a blue sheet of paper that's white on the other side. You can really let your artistic selves go to town on this. If you have a square of white paper and then you decorate one side and leave the other side white, just like we've done for the house. And a bird, of course, can be any colour. So what we're going to do is start with our white side up, and we're going to crease the paper first, very carefully, folding the point to the point and making a crease to make a triangle out of your square, and then turning it round and doing that again the other way, so that you fold the other point to the point, and you should have a cross shape in your paper. Then we're going to fold the square in half the other way, which is meeting these 2 points, meeting each other. And finally, the other 2 points meeting each other. So when you open up your paper, you should have a star shape. At any point, you just stop this video and go back a bit and see what I've done and do it again. So when you have your star shape and you can see it, and you've got your creases, and they're quite well made creases, we're going to start the model. We're going to start by folding a triangle out of your square. So corner to corner, press it down. Now, do you remember what we did with the house when we made the squash fold? We're going to make another one, and we're going to use the creases to help us. And you see this crease that runs along here, along the middle there? We're going to put a finger there and lift the top of this piece of paper along to that crease. So we're not going to go further lengthen that crease. And as we fold, run the finger up that middle, you see the same thing happens as happened with our house. A tunnel forms and then you squash it down and you've got this funny looking thing, a square. Then you turn your piece of paper over and you do the same on the other side. There's your crease. You're going to lift up the paper as far as the crease, just like this. And then you're going to run your finger up the inside. Those two creases in the middle meet, and then you're going to flatten the top. There we go. And you can feel really proud of yourselves if you've managed to do this. Once you've managed to do your squash fold, you can manage quite a lot of else in origami. Now, make sure you've got this the right way up, which is with the point facing away from you. And we're now going to make a kite shape. So we're going to take the first corner, there are 4 corners of course. We're going to take this first corner and we're going to fold the first part of our kite shape. So, like that. And you're going to do the same on the other side. Fold the point. Keep it as neat as you can at the bottom. Fold the flap to the middle there. So now we've got something that looks like this. Then we're going to turn it over. Whoops. Helps if you turn it the right way. We're going to do the same on the back. We're going to fold to the centre. And try and keep this as neat as we can. And then we'll do the last fold to the centre. So now we've got a kite shape with flaps either side. Okay. And you're going to pull up this top part and crease it and unfold it again. So now you've got a folded crease on the top. And we're going to do another squash fold, and this one's really magic. You open out your flaps, pick up the top layer of the paper, and just like we did earlier, we're going to lift it as far as this crease here. So just that far. And then something magical happens. If you've done all your creasing correctly, you can do this with your paper gently so you don't tear it. You can fold your paper and squash it on both sides. Get this shape. Just do that again on the other side. Don't worry if you have to do this a few times. It's a good idea to set out with quite a lot of bits of paper because this is quite complicated. Unfold the flaps, lift the top layer as far as that crease. You can see that crease is going to hold the paper for me. And then let the edges fold in as you make your squash fold. There. And then there. And this is a bird base. Lots of origami is made from a basic base, and then the shape is formed by doing folds on this base. Now, you've got to know your bird base is the right way up, because you've got a bit that's going to make the wings, and you've got a bit that's going to make the head and the tail. So it's not joined, but the bit at the top is. So put it back down with the that's in 2 halves facing you. Then you're going to take this leg and you're going to make another fold. You're just going to fold it up against itself like this. Okay. And you're going to do the same with the other leg. Make a nice crease, and then you're going to let it unfold again. So you can see that there's a crease here. I'm going to put my finger inside this flap. I'm going to use this crease and I'm going to let the paper fold into itself like that. I hope you can see okay. There it is at the bottom. I'm just going to try and keep it neat at the top. Fold it in half. And I'm going to do the same with the back leg. Open up the flap. And this should do that. If you've made nice strong creases, this should happen quite easily. This is called a reverse fold. You're going to fold the paper into itself like this and give it a good squash down. And this end, make it a nice point as well. Now you've got an almost bird-shaped thing, but it needs a head. So I'm going to take this leg here to make it the head. I'm going to turn down the end of it like that. Can you see? Yep, like that. To make a crease, and then I'm going to do the same thing I did with the legs, only smaller with this, and let it make a head. I'm going to fold the paper into itself along that crease, and that makes the bird's head. So now we've got a head and we've got a tail, and the last thing we do is we angle the wings. So we fold the wings down the way at a slight angle front to back, and what you've done on one side you do on the other to match, and then your bird is formed. And again, you have to hold the points at the bottom and gently pull, and you have a flapping bird flying away and flying back again. Well done everybody, and you can decorate your birds. And if you've managed to make a bird, please take a photograph and put your photographs onto the 5 Ian Rothy Norman Minister webpage for me to see. I would appreciate that very much, because I've been missing you all very much and looking forward to seeing you all again once we're back at school and once you can come back to church and to Messy Church. It will be lovely to see you. So I hope you've enjoyed this little fun with origami session, and I hope that you'll persevere and keep going, because I've enjoyed my hobby so much over the years and I'm still learning. And if you want to take it further, there is a British Origami Society, and if you look online you will find them, and they've got some really nice videos of how to make different models, and they also sell special origami paper and things like that. But you don't need special paper, you just need paper that's cut to a very accurate square. So why have I made birds? Because this is the day that we celebrate the gift of the Holy Spirit. And when Jesus was baptized and the Holy Spirit came to him, it was like a form of a dove that landed on his head. So our flapping birds are our Holy Spirit doves to celebrate Pentecost Sunday, so that you can remember that every single one of us has been given the gift of God's Holy Spirit to help us to believe and to help us to work together to build God's kingdom in this world, piece by piece, person by person, bird by bird. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.